Yo, what's up? It's your boy Christian. I'm a rapper, singer, songwriter, musician, and you're watching GDM TV.
Gospel-driven media.
It's your boy Christian. I'm a rapper, singer, songwriter, and musician.
It's not the first time on the mic I'm praying his words are right, not to the left or to the image that I see in my sight that I could have saw. Riches like I've been poor, living toward a purpose my creator made me for. It's my life and I'm trying to live it in the time that I'm given. Take the gospel and read it to people who really need it.
I was raised in not exactly a Christian family, but definitely I had Christian influences in my family. My dad's been a Christian for years, I think like over 30 years. So I definitely, over the time I was growing up in the home, got that influence of Christ through him, through what he was doing in just daily life, going to church and that kind of stuff. When I was younger, me and my brother and my dad went to a church called City Evangelical. We went there for years and years, went to there and was part of the youth there as well. And then just as I got older, I started to process things more and think in my head like, okay, let's actually stop just listening about this Jesus and listening about this Christ, but actually start to get to know who he is. So let's start seeing what it's about. So I just started being inquisitive, started asking my dad what it was about and stuff. I left high school in 2009, went to Notre Dame Sixth Form College, and they had like a prayer group there every Friday lunchtime. It was run by students mostly, but like staff could go, and it was a main student thing. And two guys ran it, Gerald and Izzy, and they ran it, and it was great. And I went to the first one. I still remember the first session, and through there I just became comfortable with all the students who were there. And they were all saved, they were all Christians, so it was really cool to get to know what they're about in their testimony. After speaking with Izzy for a while, again I was inquisitive with him, and before you know it, a few months went down the line, and one afternoon I just asked him about it, like, how can you get saved? How can you get to know Jesus? We both had our Bibles on the table, and then just shortly after I went outside to the bench, and my life has never been the same since. And it's just great how everything's just fallen into place from then on. I think one of the most important things for any Christian really is discipleship. Jesus, when he was walking around doing what he was doing, he always had his disciples with him. And I think that's important for us to carry on even in these days. Discipleship is critical. Some call it discipleship, some call it accountability. But nevertheless, it is one of these things where more is the merrier really. That's something I've definitely tried to instill in my life. I really got the knowledge of accountability through my friend Tucci. He really gave me the sense of what accountability was about and the importance of accountability as well. And everybody has it, you know, look at all the big names in Christian hip-hop, Trick Lee, Rickeal, and Newell. They all have accountability in their lives and discipleship. And the more areas you can have it, the better. You know, I'm going to university in September, and I think that the accountability that you have now will propel you into a life that's more narrow. And in a sense, the more disciples you are in your life, the more you stay accountable to people who are godly, who are experienced in their Christian life and just through life experiences, the better you will become in terms of being faithful to God. And through that, the more faithful and obedient you are to God, the more he will favour you, the more he will propel you into a future that you couldn't even expect to be living in. So I definitely think accountability, discipleship, whatever you choose to call it, is definitely something which is really important, something which I try to instill in my life regardless of what stage I'm at Christianity-wise or just through daily living, something which is really important. Most of my lyrics I'll find come from personal experiences. Without a doubt, my EP, which dropped in June, the Lifeline EP, the whole aim of that EP was it addresses 5 issues that restrict Christians or youth from living a life that's 100% dedicated to living a life for God and His glory. And you know, in these issues and in these topics, 2 of them was, one of them was my past, and one of them was called Relation Tricks, which was about a relationship that I was in about a year ago. So I definitely find that personal experiences is something which influences what I write without doubt, and helps me write, because you can be accurate then, and you can be true to yourself in what you write, and you can choose how to choreograph the lyrics appropriately. I was talking to a friend of mine who heard one of my lyrics, and you know, I dropped a couple of verses in there, and the guy said, your theology has got to be on point. You know, you've got to know the word, you've got to know your scripture to do stuff like that, because you can't, you can't get scripture twisted in any way, because it's dangerous. And I fully believe that, and it's something which definitely Christian rappers or gospel lyricists definitely have to be careful of. So I do tend to find myself getting in the word, reading the word, and getting in church. Seriously, anybody who wants to be a successful Christian artist in rap, gospel, songwriting, musician, playing anything like this, get in the church. Because if you're not in the church, you won't be surrounded by men and women of God. You won't be surrounded by that. You won't be in the church atmosphere, and you won't be learning stuff. You won't be learning stuff. The whole point of going to church is for you to create your own ministry, and the pastor has a responsibility of that, to fill you in with the scripture-based information that you need to live a life for God. And I definitely find it's the same with writing the lyrics, you know. So I definitely find through personal experience, reading the word, getting to know your word, and in the church as well, getting stuck into these points, I definitely find that that's where I get most of my stuff, as well as listening to just other rappers and stuff as well. I can listen to Rickeal and see how he crafts his lyrics and think that's just crazy, and get it all right, such detailed lyrics as Eminem does, for example. And I think, man, that's just crazy. You know, like Mockingbird or 8 Mile, something like that. It's just insane. So you can craft your lyrics and listen to other rappers as well and gain inspiration from that. I've brought out the Lifeline EP that dropped in June, earlier in the year. Lifeline EP talks about 5 issues which restrict Christians from living a life totally destined for God, for all His glory. I guess more so the EP as well. I mean, it goes out to all Christians, but I guess more so it's hitting on the youth. The issues in the EP are relationships, possessions, the past, submission to God, and identity. Each of these, in one way or another, do affect Christians, whether you've been a Christian for 30 years or whether you've been a Christian for 30 minutes, they do will affect you at some point in your Christian life. And I hope that what I've achieved in there is addressing the issues in detail, but again showing how to overcome these. Because you know, the first point in solving a problem is recognising there is one. So I think that people have got the point of, okay, this is actually what I'm dealing with, and this is how I can fix it up. If you want to keep up with what I do, keep up with my music, follow me on Twitter at itschristian_. You can find my music and download my music for free from christianofficial.bandcamp.com. I think it's .com is Bandcamp, so you can find my stuff on there, go on it, download it, and you can catch me on Instagram, Christian Cardis on there, and Facebook and stuff like that as well. Also a shout out as well, shout out to ForgeUK, me and a group of mates, shout out to Johnny Crabtree as well, who got together to create Forge, which is basically getting all young musicians from over the Bradford and Leeds area to come together and to get and network each other, so we can help promote young music. And you can follow Forge at ForgeUK, and again they're on Facebook as well. So get on ForgeUK.